Hi everyone, in this video what we're going to do is we're going to give it a try to the new XAF Web API services. So if you have installed the new version of XAF, or basically Dev Express in general, when you check the what's new section, and if you go to the XAF part, you will end up here. And here you can see the documentation on how to implement the API. So the steps they tell you here are like pretty simple. In general, you don't have to do too much. The Swagger services are already running in the Blazor application. So the only thing that you need to do is that if you don't have a Blazor application, you need to add it. But if not, it will come already with it. So let's create a new application.
The great thing about this also, we have been waiting for this for a while. It has been a lot of momentum to get to this point. And the exciting part is that we personally have struggled a lot doing OData service, doing web API service, doing GraphQL, doing some crazy things. And now it comes out of the box and supported from DevExpress. I know that it's still in pre-release, but it's a lot promising. And also, we will be reusing all our data models that we already have in SAF. We're going to be reusing our security system. So this is amazing.
Yep, and actually, let me show you here. I will create both. Of course, you just need the web application in general, but I will do both. XPO. I will leave authentication standard in this case. And for modules, nothing. We don't need. It's not listed as a module anymore. So let's just click on finish.
It's good to say that it comes already in the box with a template, but you can add it to the existing application only by reference the node with DevExpress, XpressApp, Web API, and then adding the extension method add SAF Web API with the options that you will show.
Yeah, so basically, let's go and check the project first. I guess we were talking about this.
Exactly.
Yeah, and see it's a pre-release actually, see the version number. Okay, so after adding this to
and also it's good to show also that the project is in .NET 5. I know that is a given, but it's good to mention because even the OData version is an OData that is developed for .NET 5.
Yeah, so yeah, a lot of this stuff will not come with backward compatibility, but who needs that anyway? So okay, let's go and check the start. That is the place where the magic happens. So here you have the Swagger, and also I'll find that because I think I didn't see it. So type. Yeah, SAF API. So basically here you just need to register your types. I'm going to create a domain here right now, and then basically I will just not register it, so you can see how.
But if you can see also, Jose, in the line below that one, we have a add OData extension method that pretty much it will map the route of API OData. So that's where your Swagger will be living.
Yeah, and well, you can also change this one to different URL. So the most simple scenario, basically let's add a few properties. XP boolean active, XP date, XPS code, and XPS name. Okay, so far so good. We have the model and the basic properties. So if we run this and go to the URL that we saw on the documentation, you can see the API working. So let's just wait for this to load. And I need to actually log in the first time so I can create the database and everything there. So let's wait a little bit for this to finish, and then we will check the Swagger.
I think that is a good thing actually that you have to register every entity. That way you not expose your whole ORM by mistake. So
maybe,
you need
maybe you just want one entity basically, or something like really simple.
Exactly.
So for integration, I think this is super cool because okay, we are really spoiled with stuff. You don't have to create the UI.
And now you don't have to create the API. So you don't have to create the UI, you don't have to create the database, and now you don't have to create the API. So
yeah, so we're getting like, we will be out of work soon. So, okay, we have domain object one. It's going to be active. The date is going to be set for today. Go 001 and name 3. And if I go and click in the documentation, you can just click here. And here have the Swagger documentation for that application stuff.
And the good thing is, like, we can see that there is no domain object one yet. It hasn't been still registered. So we have to do that to be able to show here.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to show, that, I mean, it's there already running, but there is nothing exposed. So you cannot, I mean, you cannot tell, okay, like, this is like unsecure. It's exposing nothing basically in the beginning. So, okay, here, we need to copy this and register a few types. I guess we can use domain object one. But I think it would be also good to, of course, if it's needed,
the application
user. Yes.
Perfect.
Okay, so we have these two types, and let's just run. This Swagger page is already open. So, well, we don't care that much about the application running like that. So let's wait a little bit for this to start. And now let's refresh the Swagger documentation. So see, now you have application user, that's one of the types that we register. And you have also domain object one. And if you want to get there, for example, we know that we have domain object one as one instance. You can try this out and execute. And yeah, see, here is where you have the result. So there's the OID, the active property, the date, the code, and the name. So basically, this is like interacting with the API. Okay, so that's basically what you need to do to expose types, because the API is already running that anyway, at least in the new version of that.
So what about authentication, Ocean?
Yeah, that's what I was going to go next. It's like, well, it tells you that you can use like any normal type of authentication. So let's come here and let's see. I think they have a link for that. No, I think it's here. So let's see, security system. This is what you're exposing. So, well, here is the authentication part. In general, you can use any authentication that you can use with any MVC controller or API controller in .NET. But here they tell you how you should include authentication. This is not for SAF in general, it's for any ASP.NET Core application. So they have an example here on how to hook up the authentication with the OAuth authentication. So in this case, I mean, there's a little more steps involved, but to not do like all the steps here, because it's like still a CTP, we can open the main demo. So in here, basically, you will see that everything is the same as the other application. If you go to startup, the main difference is that there are more types added. So far so good. And if you remember the API that we exposed, it doesn't show any parameters to authenticate. So let's open that again. Let's see.
It's the last one.
This one. So you will see that there is no login method here. Because it's not. I mean, you have to create it, at least at the moment, you have to make some code for that. So if you go to the main dev, let's stop this one. If you go to main demo, you'll see, okay, you have more types here, and also there is this MVC controller. So in this MVC controller, basically they handle, it's an example of how to handle the login mechanism. And with this, you can authenticate in the API and basically include any information that you want in the payload and send it back to the client. And with that token, you can basically interact with the API. So, for example, let's run this again.
And it's a really nice implementation using GWT token, Jose. It actually takes care of all your claims. And not only that, if you are not authenticated, it sends you to the login of XAF. So it really has they did a good implementation, good UI.
Yeah, and not only that, Javier, is that what I like the most is that it's using the latest and the greatest bits, and you get it in like one or two lines of code. And just to do this whole integration will take, if you do it like by hand, it will take maybe at least 1 day complete. If you want to create the database and do everything there. So, okay, let's log in here and let's go to the.
And also because it's using OpenAPI, you can generate the clients with any of the tools that are out there.
So the URL is the same because all the applications share the same URL. So let's refresh this, and you will see that there is an authentication method. So if we want to try out this one, and we put the username Sam, for example, after you execute this, see, it's stopping the controller. So basically, we're hitting the authentication. And after this, you can just continue. And you will see this is the token. So basically, you can include this token in any other API calls, and your API is secure, and everything is like totally integrated. Everyone is using the newest standards, and the most beautiful thing of them all, you don't have to do almost anything. So there you go. You have like a free API in general. There is a few things that I would like to include here, and it's to interact with the application model. So you can basically update the nodes of the application model, but maybe we'll have to wait for that a little bit. But so far, so good. I mean, this is just amazing. And the thing is that you don't have to do it like that much. Just registering the types. That's basically what you have to do.
It already comes in the template. So this is amazing. And not only that, because it's using OData, you can take advantage of all the operators that OData have, select, filter, order by, and so on. Because it's using OpenAPI, you can use any of the tools out there to generate the client. It's using Swagger. You have this really nice UI interface to test your API. You also have a login that is using SAP security. So authorization with GWT tokens or any of the ASP.NET Core authentication methods that we have in there. So kudos to the DevExpress team. One thing that the documentation say is like logging degrade the performance a little bit. We will have to test that a bit more, but so far I think that this is looking amazing.
And also, here, before we finish, just want to show everyone here. There are a lot of services like this. I just needed to make a client like last week, and I use this service. So in this service, you can download the Swagger definition, because if you are running this API, you can go to the top. And here is the link for the definition, like the schema of your API. You can download that, save it, or just expose it somewhere. And then you can go to a service like this one and basically generate a client. So here, for example, I have this client. And once you have it, you can go here, share. And I think you can, let's go in actually. You can generate the client in any language that you want. So you click export, you create a client SDK, and you can generate a client for the SAF application on C#, Go, Java, PHP, Python, Scala, Swift.
You name it.
You name it, you have it. So this is like the ultimate interoperability integration that you can do in SAF. It's like everything is exposed to HTTP. So almost no code to run, but your own logic on the main objects in there. So that's it for this video.
Okay, so SAF does for us the UI, the database, and now the API. If they do my client's business logic,
Yeah,
that would
out
be,
of work.
yeah, absolutely. Okay, guys, thank you for sticking with us to the end, and see you in the next video.
Bye.